I never knew nothing about human trafficking. I never knew that I was being exploited. I didn't wake up and be like, oh, this is what's happening to me. It's something that I thought was normal.
80,000 reported missing people on any given day in the United States. At the same time, there are over 10,000 unidentified bodies. There is no national law requiring agencies to share this information, leaving many families in the dark about their loved one's fate.
Today, family and volunteers, they reported cadaver dogs detected a few locations where human remains might have been buried.
You could have a body that was on one side of a county line, and the next county could have had that individual reported as missing, and no one may have talked to each other.
And we just haven't forgotten, and we're not going to stop until we know what happened.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Gone Missing pod on this mini Missing Monday. Today's episode is going to be a little different. It is just me today, your host, Nicole Mercado. For those of you who listen regularly, who are active on our Instagram or Facebook pages, you probably have already heard about this, but we wanted to bring some attention. So this is not going to be a brand new case or a typical case. This is just going to be a bit of an update as well as a dedication. On March 17th, we released the episode of the disappearance of 19-year-old Audreona Barnes. Later that day, the news broke that her body had been located. She was found by a cleaning person who happened to be in an apartment where the previous tenant had been evicted, moved a blanket, only to find Audreona in a pile of clothes wrapped in a blanket. Her boyfriend, who was identified by investigators as 39-year-old Benny Washington, was then arrested on March 19th, 2022 after the incident and charged with murder and gross abuse of a corpse. Audreona actually went missing last year in July 29th of 2021. She was a beautiful and bright young woman who had graduated high school at the age of 17 and was actually supposed to go meet an Army recruiter the day after on July 30th, 2021. But instead, her dreams were ripped away from her by this man. On Tuesday morning, the Cleveland Municipal Court arraigned Washington, and his bond was set at $2 million. We learned a few different things. Some of it was from the media, some of it's from people who lived in the area, and some of it is from a friend of the family who actually reached out to us about Audreona. From what we have learned, the person who previously lived in the apartment was evicted shortly before she was found, and that person was, from what we understand, Benny Washington. It was on the road that she was previously seen at on July 29th, and there was actually, if you had listened to the last case, which you can go back and listen if you want to know more details about her case, there was a gas station mentioned in one of her texts. However, that was in the area 20 years ago and has since been torn down. So we are not sure if when that was said in her text message, if that was supposed to be, any sort of like information for her mother's boyfriend whom she texted, or if it was coming from Benny Washington. We want to thank the family friend who reached out to us to give us some of these updates, as well as send our condolences to the family and her loved ones at this time. We wanted to take a little while and allow them to grieve, allow them to have this time, and then provide this update for all of you who listen who may not have heard about her case, because unfortunately, as many of us know, the cases of young Black women who are murdered or go missing get very little attention in the media. Audreona was one of those people. She had a few breaking news stories and then they stopped. Her body was found and there was a breaking news story and we haven't heard much about it since. Audreona's life mattered. These women and children of color that we talk about matter. They are people. They are sisters. They are brothers. They are mothers. They are daughters and sons, nieces and nephews. They are loved by someone. And that is why we do what we do here. We also want to take the time to provide resources. While we are not aware of previous instances of domestic violence, it is oftentimes a precursor to violent instances and murder. Of all violent crime, 15% of it is accounted for by intimate partner violence. The domestic violence hotline is 1-800-799-7233. They can also provide assistance through text message at 88788 and writing the word START, S-T-A-R-T, and they will assist you. It is anonymous, and you can reach out if you have any questions. They also have a wonderful resource to find out what some of the signs are of domestic violence. Audreona was 19 when she went missing. She had an entire life ahead of her, an entire life to live, and it was taken away from her by this selfish, horrible person. And truly, we hope that he has some sort of remorse for what he has done to her and her family. And we truly hope he is locked behind bars for a very long time. We are aware of when we do this show and this podcast that many of these cases end like this. However, we are usually not able to talk about it because we don't have any answers. To have this answer, to see what happened, to watch her family grieve at this time, to know her family grieves at this time, truly hurts us. I can't imagine what they're going through. So we want to dedicate this to Audreona Barnes and her beautiful life that she had and what an intelligent young woman that she was. And we hope that now that her family is able to put her to rest, that she finds peace. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to listen to Audreona's episode or any past episodes, you can find them on multiple platforms such as Podbean and Spotify. If you would like to reach out to us about any cases that we may have covered, any updated information, you can reach us on Instagram and Twitter at The Gone Missing Pod or on Facebook at The Gone Missing Podcast. We're so appreciative of our community because you have all really come together, and we can't do better and be better unless we do that together. We will bring attention to these families because they deserve justice and they deserve peace. We will check in back with you all Thursday. Thank you.